Awesome, thank you, Raj. Yeah, what a year. For those of you who were here last year, this was before Celo became an L2, so lots of questions at the time. How is that going to work? You guys are the first big L1 that's going to do that move. Is it going to be easy? What's going to go wrong? Everything went super smoothly, and the data speaks for itself. I'm going to go into some details in my presentation. Let's see if we can get that up. And you'll see it for yourself. But the top line, obviously, from a chain perspective that we all care about is fees. And Celo fees have been up 10x since the beginning of last year. So let's unpack that data a little bit to see what's been driving that growth. And you'll see a lot of it is going to come back to stablecoins. All right, here we go. Driving the stablecoin revolution. So for those of you not familiar with Celo, from the very beginning, this is going 7-8 years back, our focus really was to see, okay, what would an infrastructure look like that would facilitate stablecoin payments, particularly in the global south? What kind of primitives would be needed to make that possible? And there were a bunch of things, but maybe to highlight a few here, some of these primitives were the ability, for example, to make payments not just in the native token of the chain, but in stablecoins itself, which seems pretty trivial if you think about it from a user perspective. And now that's something that's becoming a lot more standard. But at the time, that was something totally new. And it's really magical, right? If I send someone here 5 USDT, and this is like the only asset they have in their wallet, what can they really do with it? Nothing, right? But on Celo, from day one, you could actually use then those stablecoins to, use a mini app or send it to a friend, and the fees would just come out of your stablecoin balance. So like just a small feature, but really powerful from a user UX perspective. Secondly, obviously low fees. This is something where the industry is moving towards. We knew it. We, from the beginning, set out to architect Celo in a way that it would have sub-cent and even lower fees for simple transfers. And that's really something that we're seeing has led to a whole new set of products being built, particularly around microtransactions. People getting rewards in games, people are doing microtasks and getting rewarded on an ongoing basis versus just once a month, or how it's done in traditional finance. And all of these things have really helped shape some of the real-world use cases we've been seeing on Celo. Of course, all of this needs to happen on a mobile phone, right? I think this is clear to everyone here. We're not just accessing the internet on our desktop computers, but we have a phone in our pocket. Why should we not be able to do everything that we want to do on that device? And a lot of these features have led to a lot of amazing partners coming to Celo. So Celo is actually, to date, still the only L2 that has native deployments of the biggest stablecoins out there, Tether and Tether USDT and Circle's USDC. Also other great partners like Opera, we'll dive into that in a little bit some more. And it's led to a really vibrant ecosystem around stablecoins. One thing that I think often gets overlooked when we talk about sort of on-chain adoptions and bringing users on-chain is actually the friction to even bring someone on-chain, right? The ability to cash in from fiat in really any currency to an on-chain balance. And that's something, as an ecosystem, we've been very focused on and have had the pleasure of working with just a whole lot of different companies around the world that have built these often local on and off ramps and make an experience to on-ramp, say in Kenya, from Kenyan shilling to USDT on Celo, super seamless, do so in less than 30 seconds and do so at no cost. And yeah, all of these things have led to Celo being one of the most used chains in crypto, particularly for real-world and stablecoin use cases. Now, don't take my word for it. Let's look at the data. So you can see here, this data is pulled very recently. This is across all the L2s. We just overtook Base as the most active layer 2. So this is tracking daily active users. And you can see here that kind of yellow line kind of trending up This is really, people coming back every day, using it for local payments, making peer-to-peer payments, using it in their daily lives. And so kind of like a different sort of like slower train that's just, getting faster over time versus sort of like those temporary bumps around, different, different kind of experiments maybe. So very proud of that. We're also, if you now dive more specifically into stablecoins, then you see, for example, Tether, the biggest stablecoin in the world. It's been an amazing partner, and again, native on Celo. We're still a pretty recent integration compared to many of the other chains they've been on. And this is also a pretty recent data. We're head-to-head there and just overtook Tron. If you look at, this is tracked by Tether on a weekly basis, the weekly active users, so people interacting and sending and receiving USDT, which is pretty amazing. I expect those numbers to, as you can see in the chart, to continue to go up there. But I think it really speaks also for this kind of real-world adoption. One thing we've had on Celo from day one, which I think factors into this, where someone may be like, well, are those real people or is it just like bots? These are real people. These folks have, either verified a phone number or have used some of the other identity solutions like self-protocol on Celo to prove that they're unique humans. And I think that's really powerful because ideally all the stuff that we're doing from an ecosystem perspective, providing incentives, we want to do that for real people. We're also the #1 chain for this kind of richer stablecoin ecosystem. I'm a big believer that USD stablecoins are just the beginning. We're going to see a much richer economy of local currency stablecoins emerging, particularly if we think about use cases like lending, where if you don't want to take out a loan in dollars and then at some point realize when you want to pay it back that your local currency has depreciated and you have to pay a lot more on top of the interest. I'm not going to go into detail here, but we have some amazing partners on this, including the Mentor protocol on Celo, which has been leading the rollout of local currency stablecoins. So in summary, that's really put us in a pole position from here on out as this kind of use case kind of keeps growing. We just heard from Alice that stablecoin infra is going to stay like a hot topic for Q1. I couldn't agree more. 2026, we're going to see some real acceleration as more and more people take advantage of stablecoins for all these different use cases. And so I'm very excited to actually announce something that we're announcing here today. We have a little video. And with that, I would love to ask Jorgen up on stage. So Jorgen is EVP at Opera. Opera, many of you here have probably used one of their browsers. Opera has brought over, good to have you here, over 300 million people, active users, onto the internet. And the next step is to actually bring them into this kind of digital economy. And so with that, we're super excited today to announce that we're extending our initial partnership we've had to get MiniPay out there and really double down on the early traction we've seen and the growth and the success. I think this is probably the best product that I've seen around as a stablecoin wallet in the world right now, and really taking it global with a bunch of different initiatives, including a roadshow focusing particularly Latin America and Southeast Asia, which are new markets for MiniPay. And yeah, getting us to 1 billion people on chain by 2030, which is our overarching goal. Jorgen, welcome.
Thank you, Rene. Yeah. Excited to be here. Fantastic place to announce the partnership. We've been working together as teams for a number of years now. We started as an alliance partner of Celo. Opera, if you don't know too much about who we are originally a browser company, still is, that's our bread and butter, but we see also great synergy and overlap between what Celo and Web3 is all about. And from our mission, Opera's mission is about bringing people online, providing the best possible internet experience across any device, any market. And of course, as the market evolves and technology evolves, we see that Web3 becomes more and more popular and relevant in meeting that mission. So we've been working together now on financial inclusion for several years. culminating in the MiniPay wallet, which we shipped first inside Opera Mini, which is one of the most popular applications in Africa and emerging markets back in 2023. We now have a standalone wallet on Android and iOS. And basically, it's a global dollar-based wallet built on Celo, stablecoin focused, abstracting a lot of the, let's say, complicated technology that a lot of newbies or users, consumers who are not familiar with crypto technology. We abstract that, making it super easy to transact using phone numbers, etc. So that's kind of the basis. We know this is early days. There's some numbers on the slide here, I think, but we're just starting. But we're excited to see the adoption so far. So I can't wait for the next years, Rene.
Yeah, likewise. Awesome. With that, we're up at time, but come meet us at the Celo booth right here in the middle of the floor. We can get you set up with MiniPay. If you are building a mini app, come talk to us too. There's really a lot of distribution. We were just chatting this morning. Tether Gold just launched recently, and just in the last 2 weeks, I think has more than 30,000 people hold gold on MiniPay, and that's more than all of the holders on Ethereum, where it's been live for much longer. So massive distribution for everything you guys are building, and really just the beginning of an amazing journey to really onboard the entire world, to bring the entire world on chain. And with that, also a big thank you to Binance for just hosting this amazing event. I mean, I loved being here last year. I love being here again. Binance has been an amazing partner, not just to Celo, but also to MiniPay. So thank you, Binance team. Yeah, thank you guys.